Good morning, everybody, and welcome to your next lecture. As you'll see, I am not in my office. I want to talk to you a little bit about the book because we wanted to wrap up Kagan this week, and then I also want to talk to you about the IMRAD paper. So the book wraps up with a section on basically what we learned in the book, right? Current tensions between the humanities, the social sciences, the natural sciences, and what you find is that there is an emergent conversation about what's going on in each of the disciplines, and that there is a constant sort of struggle for things like funding and different competition for majors, because majors, you all make the difference between the future and the past, right? So what you choose to do is where the jobs will be, right? Because you are the drivers of the economy. Without skilled workers, a job cannot last. So it's an interesting take on things that you get from the last bit of the book. Now, I know that a lot of you had some trouble with the book, and I understand that. Again, I'll say you will encounter in college books that you have trouble with. So that's just something that as you go along, you'll find you may encounter again. But the task isn't for you to take everything that's possible to take from a book, because if that was the case, it wouldn't be a very complex book if you could take it all in on the first reading. And I don't expect you to have read it twice. Rather, take what you can from each of these advanced texts that you encounter in college, and make sure that you are paying attention to how it matters to you and to your field, and where you can go from there. With regard to the IMRAD, I'm seeing a few things as I go through your rough drafts. A few of you need to pay closer attention to the genre of the IMRAD. That is, you need to figure out how specifically to do the methods section and the results section. The methods, again, are the things that you do, right? So if you have a question that you start out with, right, and you give me an introduction that sort of lays out that question and what's already been said about it, then your methods should be how you answer that question, right? How you go about giving an answer to your readers, right? It's not that you've read these things and now you know. It's what were you looking for in something to convince you that something was true, right? And if you do that, you will invariably arrive at the right result. Yeah, especially if you find that your methods make sense. Now, a good way to find methods to do this is to actually just look at the methods that were used by people who you've read. So if you find a study that makes a lot of sense, that makes a good point, do what they did and see if you can come up with different results by changing one of the variables. And if not, maybe you've verified their results, and if so, maybe you've called their results into question. But one way or another, right, you should do some original research where the things that you read, right, just reading isn't research. The things that you read become the introduction to your methods, right? You're extending those studies, going beyond them, yeah? And then the results become what happened when you did that, yeah? After that, the discussion is what you believe that means, yeah? So if you do those things, then I think that you will find that you get a great grade on your IMRAD paper, and you'll be pretty happy with that result. Writing prompts this week. So we wrapped up we wrapped up Kagan this week, and I want to make sure that you're getting your final thoughts out on Kagan. So just give me a few closing comments on Kagan that you have. If you have anything that you want to say about Kagan, or if you have a recommendation for a book that I could put in its place, because it is getting sort of old, right? It's 10 years old at this point. But if you have a recommendation for a book that I could put in its place, or if you have some comments, or if you have questions, please respond to that in one of your writing prompts this week, so that I can find out more about how to move forward with that book. And second, for your writing prompt this week, is I'd like to have you write about the continuing process of the IMRAD. I want you to sort of write down how you arrived at your research question, and what you think that says about whatever your question is moving forward, right? If you approach a topic from a given stance, right, what does that say about the question as you begin? All right, so I think if you do those things, you will find yourself reflecting in a way that's helpful for you. And for a third writing prompt, I would just like you to pick a topic. Maybe go around to a location and see if you can determine some of the visual rhetoric that's going on. For example, I'm here in downtown Minneapolis, and you can see that the behind me, the Final Four is being advertised on some of the street lamps and things. So if I had something to say about the Final Four being advertised, especially after it's already gone, I would say that Minneapolis was trying to show that it is a tourist destination, and that it supports college basketball. It's a way of drawing people into Nicollet Mall, which is where I'm at right now. So if you want to go somewhere and discuss the visual rhetoric that's going on around it, please do that. If not, just write about anything. The writing prompts are generally about practice writing, and so I'd like you to just pick a topic and write something down. All right? So your 3 prompts then have become closing comments on Kagan, closing comments on the IMRAD, and then pick a topic to include possibly doing a visual rhetoric study. All right. I will be putting this up as soon as I can on Blackboard, but it obviously will be up on YouTube a little sooner. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.